Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another Chart Nerd TA video. Today we're going to be doing some analysis on Chainlink. The ticker is Link against USD, and we're looking at the weekly time frame. So straight away, there's a very important time coming up for Link, I think, in the next few months. Now, I think we will look to try and meet some sort of crossroads down the line here, where you can see you've got this line of resistance that Chainlink's been under ever since it topped out in the bull market in May 2021, and you can see that this is a very strong line of resistance and it is yet to be back tested. So I would expect this white trend line at some point to be back tested down the line here for Link as resistance. Now at the same time, okay, so keep this resistance line in mind, you've also got this purple box here which is acting as very strong resistance. Now this was once an area of support for Chainlink, so if we look over here in regards to 2020, you can see we held it here as support, and we held it here as support once more, confirming that last impulsive wave up to Chainlink's all-time high at around $53. Okay, so this area was once support, and what happened was you actually retested this area, lost it, and met it as resistance. Now at this point here, where you turn this previous support into resistance, it's very interesting to see what's happened. So looking at the charts here, from this point on where this support was actually lost, okay, and you retrace down to this low, I think Chainlink was trying to get to this green line, okay, which was previous areas of resistance, and we were looking to turn it to support. It hasn't got there. Could it potentially get there? Of course it could. Okay, the bottom may potentially not be in, and if Chainlink did reach this green line of support from back in 2020 of March, then again it would be a new low for Link. It is a huge possibility. Okay, so we'll look at that a bit further in the video. But right now, you can see that ever since we did lose this previous support and turn it to resistance multiple times here, you can see we've had multiple areas of resistance within this sort of purple zone over the last few months. You can see that it's very, very strong resistance. And again, it was previous support and it's going to take a while to get above it. But at the same time, since you've actually run into that resistance, you can see that you was caught sort of between this falling wedge pattern here, where you've got this level of resistance right here, this orange line, okay, and you've got this level of support that you was holding here, okay, and what's happened is right now is a very, very bullish sign. So you can see you was caught between a rock and a hard place, coiling up, and what's happened right here, if we zoom in a little bit more on the weekly, you can see Chainlink actually broke that resistance, back tested its support, and has once again bounced up into this purple zone where we've met previous areas of resistance beforehand over the last few months. In fact, since May 2022, we've sort of been in this chop sideways area for Chainlink, but right now we are seeing some bullish action going on. Okay, so again, we have broken out of this falling wedge. Now when you do tackle above these resistances of these bullish reversal patterns, you do tend to reverse back to where the trend started, and again that was up here at this point of resistance at around $9.20. So is this where Chainlink's looking to get to, and could this crossroads that I'm talking about potentially get here sooner than we think, where we do actually run up to this resistance line of this previous bear market resistance since we topped out in 2021. Okay, I do think Chainlink is looking to potentially run into this area as resistance and actually meet this crossroads. At this point, it's very interesting to see if we do get there, what actually happens. Again, because you've been forming this sort of structure going sideways for a while, and you're caught between a range. Okay, literally between a rock and a hard place, looking for a decision, and one will eventually come. Okay, but what we have to do is just monitor moving forward the patterns that are at play. Right now, you are breaking out of this falling wedge, holding it as support. So for me, it entices, it adds to the fact I think you're going to come up to this crossroads point and exactly to where you started forming this wedge in the first place. So potentially we do still have a short little long on our hands here. I do think we could be looking over the next few days to coming weeks for Chainlink to run up around 18% potentially and retest these local highs up here at around $9.30. And I do think that is a potential play here moving forward, only because we've broken out of this bullish reversal pattern down here of this falling wedge. Now again, at that point, if we was to start sort of trailing our way up here, marching towards this point, what happens here is very, very interesting. Okay, because if we do start to retrace back down to these lows, okay, as support, if we do start to retrace to those lows and say this trend line drags on and you do come down to this green line, at that point I think you will have something called a triple bottom. Okay, and this is the bearish scenario. I do think in the short term we could rally up to this crossroads and then come back for a triple bottom down here, where Chainlink finally on that occasion then starts to break out of these resistance zones before starting to take out. So I do think the next few months could still be very, very choppy sideways. Okay, just because we've broken out of this bullish pattern here does not mean that the lows are in and Chainlink's just going to melt up. Of course not. We do have this purple zone, which is also very, very strong resistance since May, and it wouldn't surprise me. Okay, you've got 1, 2, if he was to come up to this point and then come back down for a third low before actually coming up to retest this trend line and purple area of resistance once again before breaking out. Okay, so that is also a possibility. We could literally just be ranging like this for a long time, guys, until it decides to actually break above this trend line, hold it as support. That's your long confirmation for me. Okay, tackling above this trend line of resistance, okay, and actually getting above this purple zone and holding it as support multiple times. I think that is your confirmation signal to go long there for Link. But as I've said, I think a break will come within the next few months. By July, potentially. We could be in this range here until July. Okay, just forming this sort of bottom structure, looking to hold support. And once we do sort of hold support, and as I said, start to tackle out of these areas and hold them as support there, okay, that is your confirmation signal to go long for Link. Again, right now I'm sitting on the cards. Okay, you could trade the ranges. If you do see Chainlink start to retest these areas, you can see that when you are down here, you do get the reliefs, okay, back up towards this resistance zone. So you could literally, I'm not saying that you have to, but be buying down here, selling at resistance, okay? Buying support and selling at resistance. It's literally a trade the ranges. But for me, I'm not that kind of guy, okay? I've been accumulating in this zone for Link. I think it's an amazing project, and I do think right now it is very undervalued. On the macro scale of things, if we look at the monthly time frame here for Link, I think right now what we're going for is a potential very large Elliott wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is a big A, B, C sort of correction here for Link, a large ABC of a massive wave 4. So let me explain. So you've got this wave 1, you've got a wave 2 pullback. This was a macro large wave 3. Right now you've got a large nasty wave 4. Potentially these are your lows here, and right now you're going to look for a wave 5. Well, where could this wave 5 target be? Okay, and it has to confirm that these are the lows here for Link. If you start losing this lows, this negates this pattern because you're actually losing this wave 1 high. Okay, so wave 4 can never retrace deeper than wave 1. You have to hold that as support to confirm that this is still Elliott wave and that this play is in contact. So again, where could that wave 5 target be? Well, my next potential targets for Chainlink in its bull market, the next bull cycle, are actually up to minimum $100 to pushing to the 1618 at 223. Now, Chainlink does like to reach these targets. It done it in previous bull markets. I'm not going to go through it with you, but I did check before I came on the video. Chainlink has always, once it's bottomed out and got back above key areas of resistance, okay, that were previous support, once it gets back above these golden ratios and tackles out its high, okay, it always pushes, if not further, to the 2 fib, but a minimum the 1618. So conservatively, $100 would be my wave 5 target. With an extensive push, which Chainlink likes to get to, you're looking at $223. Again, none of this is financial advice. It's all for education and entertainment purposes only. But for that would be from current price a roughly 2,735% move. And I think that would be your large macro sort of bull run there for Chainlink, complete, over and done with. And at that point, you come back for a larger sort of correction and a bigger bear market for Link. But you can see it's literally working up in structure, okay? in this bull market here. Potentially you did have 5 waves within this larger wave. So wave 1, wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and a wave 5. Okay, so that's a large wave 1. And then right now what we've had potentially is an A, a B, a large C wave. And right now we're holding support here. Okay, and we're stuck between support and resistance. So if you start to see, as I said, if you start to see Chainlink getting closes above $8, I think and holding support here, I think you've got more potential, the likelihood that you're going to start retracing back up to previous support levels that and looking to turn them as resistance. Okay, so I do think right now potentially we are looking to start moving impulsively. We're forming some bottoming out structure here for the past since May last year. Okay, you're forming this sort of double bottom here on the monthly. Again, it's good to zoom out and see these actual patterns, but I think potentially what you've got in your hands here is a large double bottom on the monthly, and if you do start getting above that $8 mark on the monthly time frame and closing above it, you can see you've got this lovely double bottom pattern here, and you will have a minimum target once that does break out. Again, it's nice to measure on the monthly time frame. You can see that that would bring you back up towards this previous area of support. Okay, so it came down here, support, ran into resistance of this trend line. Okay, and as it met that, capitulated. Right now, all we're doing is forming structure to start retracing back to this previous support and turn it as resistance, and that is where you could get that long opportunity there of Chainlink for around 45%. So I am looking for a 30 to 40% move here for Chainlink if we start to see closes above $8 on the monthly and seeing this monthly candle tackle above this resistance, and it will confirm this sort of bullish pattern here for Link. So again, you can see that right now why it's very strong resistance where we're currently running into right here, because previous resistance back in 2020 held support, impulsive wave. Right now you've had the ABC, lost the support, turned it to resistance, coiling up, higher lows, double bottom pattern, looking for the breakout to go long. So I do think that the structure is playing out very well, and I do think this is a very large wave 4, looking for a new impulsive wave 5 where you actually do tackle out of this high. And as I said, on the macro scale, wave 1, wave 2, large wave 3. Right now you've got a very nasty wave 4, hasn't lost the wave 1 high, so it's still valid, looking for a wave 5 macro scale move, and that would be it there for Chainlink, of which I gave you the targets not too long ago on the fib levels. So I hope you enjoyed the content today, guys. Very quick, very... You know, sometimes I do talk too fast. I do apologize, but I just want to keep these videos as short as possible for you and squeeze in as much content as I can. But if you enjoyed, please do like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Oh gosh, I forgot to give you the bearish targets. Of course, if we fail, okay, to tackle out of these highs, if we fail to tackle out of these local highs here, okay, and fail to get back above $8 to $10 and close above this resistance that was once support, and all we're doing is continuously running into this and hitting our heads on it. If we do come down and lose the $5.13 mark, which is the low here for Chainlink, I think minimum you're looking for $4.50. That would be my target. And again, what you could see here is if we did come down to that $4.50, ultimately it does bring you back down to this area of support that Chainlink hasn't actually retested yet, which was previous resistance back in 2020 where you formed this cup and handle before explosively breaking out. So you could say that you've broke out of that resistance. Potentially all Chainlink's doing is looking to retrace to it for support. Okay, so that's always a big potential, guys, but for that to happen we have to lose the local lows at $5.13, and my next target would be $4.58. That's the bearish outlook for you too there, guys. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please do like, comment and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to my next video. From Chart Nerd TA, take care, guys. Peace out.